Good morning, everyone. Welcome to City Hall, welcome to Council Chambers, and welcome to a meeting of the Los Angeles City Council for today, Tuesday, April 8th, 2003. The City Council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and
martes,
Friday
miércoles
at
y
10
viernes a las 10 de la
a.m. Meetings
mañana.
are open to the public.
Juntas
We
están
invite
abiertas
you
para el
to
público.
join us and
Los invitamos a
participate
que
in
vengan
local
a participar
government.
en lo
For
local.
members of the public unable to attend
Miembros
council
de
meetings, we can be
los
viewed
consejos
live
pueden
on
ser
your
vis-
cable station, Channel 35.
Canal
We can
35.
also be viewed live via
Pueden ser vistos
webcast
por
from the
la
city's
página
homepage or heard via
de la
council
ciudad
phone.
o por teléfono
Madam
del
Clerk, would you please
consejo.
call the
Por
roll?
favor, llámese la
Benson,
lista.
Galanter, Garcetti, Gruel, Han, Holden, Labange, Miskowski, Pacheco, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Weisstein, Padilla, 10 members present,
10
and a
miembros
quorum, Mr.
presentes.
President.
Bueno,
Thank you very much. The council is
el
officially
Consejo
in
está
session.
oficialmente en
This
sesión.
being Tuesday,
Y
the
eso
first
como es
meeting
martes,
of the
el primer
week,
junta de la
as
semana es
customary,
como
we
de
have
costumbre.
scheduled our
Tenemos
salute
puesto
to the
nuestro
flag.
saludo a la
If I can
bandera.
ask everyone
Entonces
to
veo que
please
todos se
stand.
paran.
And Mr. Reyes, would you please lead us in the salute to the flag?
Everybody please rise. Right hand on your heart. Pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of
of the United States of
America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, first order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Ms. Misikowski moves and Mr. Park seconds.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Mr. Labange moves and Mr. Pacheco seconds.
Before beginning the regular agenda, Mr. President, there are several items to continue. A request from the department to continue items 26 and 27 to Friday, which is April 11th.
Members request to continue items 26 and 27 to this Friday. Is there any objection? Seeing none, those matters are continued.
And item number 2, a request from the department. It is a public hearing item from the Department of Building and Safety to receive and file that matter inasmuch as the assessment has been paid.
Okay, members' recommendation to receive and file item number 2. If there's no discussion, no objection, let's open the roll on receiving and filing item number 2. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That matter is received and filed.
On the regular agenda, items noticed for public hearings, items 1 through 6, with the exception of 2, are building and safety reports. I believe there is a card on item number 1.
We have a card on item number 1. Let's call that matter special. On the balance of the items, there are no requests from members of the public to address the council. We shall deem the public hearings open and closed. Are there members wishing to call any specials? Items 3 through 6. Items 3, 4, 5, and 6. Seeing no requests for specials, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Next items, also items for which public hearing, items noticed for public hearings, items 7 and 8 are ordinances. I believe 12 council members will be present today. Do you wish to hold those on the desk?
Let's hold items 7 and 8 on the desk.
Next items, item 9 and 10 are public hearing items. Council should open the hearings and continue the hearing and ordinances to April 29th.
Okay, items 9 and 10 now before us, and we do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these matters. We shall deem the public hearings open, and unless there's an objection, continue the public hearings and the items to April 29th. Mr. Parks. 9, okay, before we continue that matter, let's call 9 special for Mr. Parks. Item 10 is continued to April 29th. Next item, please.
Next items, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have been held, items 11 through 17, and there are no ordinances on those.
Items 11 through 17 now before us. Public hearings haven't been held. A motion from the floor would be required to reopen the public hearings. Mr. Weiss.
I call 17 for a very brief discussion.
Okay, Mr. Weiss calls item 17 special. Any other specials? Items 11 through 17. 15 called special by Mr. Garcetti. Any other specials? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on the balance of the items. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved. We now have 12 members present. We have items 7 and 8 on the desk. Let's return to those, as those are ordinances. Items 7 and 8 currently before us. Members wishing to call either of those special? Seeing none, let me also recognize that we do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these matters, satisfying the public hearing. Items 7 and 8. Seeing no requests for specials, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Items 18 through 24 are items for which public hearings have not been held.
And I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on these items. Public hearings shall be satisfied. Mr. Holden, did you wish to call an item special?
Did we cover 26, 27, 28 yet?
No. 26 and 27 have been continued to this Friday.
And what about 28 and 29?
Not yet. We're on items 18 through 24 at this time, Mr.
Okay,
Holden.
fine. In that case, you covered 15, is that correct?
Yes, we did. Item
like to have
15
the-
has been called special.
I'd like to hold it over for a day.
Okay, it's called special
Yeah, it's just
by
something
Mr. Garcetti.
continued for one day.
Members, we have a motion to continue item 15 for one day. Is there any objection? Seeing none, item 15 shall be continued to tomorrow, April 9th. Members, we currently have items 18 through 24 before us. Any specials? 20. Mr. Pacheco calls item 20 special. Any other specials? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on items 18 through 24 with the exception of number 20. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Item number 25 is closed session. Item, do you wish to hold that matter on the desk?
Closed session item shall be held on the desk. Next item.
Item number 28 is the next item on the supplemental agenda, and that is an item for which public hearing has been held.
Item 28 now before us. Members wishing to call this matter special. Called special by Mr. Garcetti. Next item, please.
8 special.
It's been called special, Mr. Holden.
All right.
Next item, please.
Item number 29 is the next item for which public hearing has not been held.
Item 29 now before us, and I do not have requests from members of the public to address the council on this item. Public hearing shall be opened and closed. Members wishing to call item 29 special.
Yeah, because it's 28, 29 is essentially.
Call special by Mr. Holden. Next item, please.
Going back to the items called special, item number 1 was called special for cards from the public.
Item number 1 now before us. The council calls forward Danny Alexander.
About the abatement.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, he wasn't notified. He was in a convalescent home at the time. And when we took him out of there, we put him in a convalescent home, and the house was locked up. The lady next door had the key in there, and she was scared to those drug dealers that were in there, she said. And when I went back out there, I seen the fence and everything up there. Then they told me the city had something to do with the abatement. I don't have $8,000, and he doesn't have it either. And I'm fixing the property up now, you know. So I'm trying to see if he can waive it.
Okay, sir. And we appreciate you being here on this item. I think you have been in touch with the appropriate members of the city staff. So this is your opportunity to be heard.
Who's that I need to talk to?
Okay. There are representatives from the department. If you want, we can have somebody talk to you here. But unless you have anything further to say, then we're going to close the public hearing on this item.
And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Members, we have item number 1 still before us. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please open the roll on item number 1. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Item number 9 was called special by Councilmember Parks.
Mr. Parks.
That's, would you hold that? That's for Councilwoman Perry.
Okay. We'll hold item number 9 on the desk. Next item, please.
Item number 17 was called special by Councilmember Weiss.
Mr. Weiss.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to ask, I don't know if Ms. Garrett is here. I guess she probably isn't. But I'd just like to ask, Mr. Miller, could you just for 1 second, just pro forma, I would just love to have some sense from your office as to when, maybe it's not Ms. Garrett, maybe it's Ms. Wolcott, will be doing a report based on what we requested at committee, and I just would love to have some input. It doesn't have to be from you now. We'll pass the motion through, pass the matter through. Just want to get some sense of the timeline on where CLA is in terms of preparing the work that was requested here. And I know you don't have it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I just want to
Okay.
let you know that I'd love to have a sense of that because it's something we should get cracking on.
Okay, we'll get back to your office today on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Ms. Mizikowski.
Just going to partially answer Mr. Weiss that there has been follow-up on this particular matter, and this was the report that we had in public safety from both the Mr. Janenko, who works with the sheriff, and Merrick Bob, who also does oversight for the Board of Supervisors of the sheriff, and they had some very, very positive ideas, none of which would require charter reforms necessarily, but how the Inspector General's office could function much more proactively with the Los Angeles Police Department, and that has been also sent to the Police Commission, and I do know that there are meetings within the police staff right now and the Inspector General and the Mayor's office to follow up and look at setting up some of those new protocols. But I think it's appropriate to perhaps ask that item 2, the recommendation here, be put on the perhaps council agenda next week so that we can get that update as to what's being done in the consultation with both the commission and the department and the mayor's staff. So why don't we just approve item 17 and then ask for a report back on item 2 in 17 next week.
Okay, other members wishing to be heard on this item? Seeing none, then we have the motion before us. Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Item number 20, call special by Councilmember Pacheco.
Mr. Pacheco.
I introduced and circulated a technical amendment to have the proper account numbers reflected in the motion, Mr. President and colleagues. So I would move 20A for approval, and it's a technical amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco. Any further discussion on the item? If not, then without objection, we shall consider the matter as amended. Madam Clerk, please open the roll on item 20 as amended. Please close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
Item number 28, call special by Councilmember Garcetti.
Mr. Garcetti.
Please continue this till April 30th.
Okay, members request to continue this item for 3 weeks and a day to April 30th. Is there any objection? Seeing none, this matter is so continued. Next item, please.
Item number 29, call special by Councilmember Holden.
Mr. Holden.
Ask that they both be heard concurrently, 28 and 29, because they relate to the same legislation. So
Okay.
it be continued until such time that we hear 28.
Request to continue item 29 to April 30th. Mr. Reyes.
Council President, it's imperative that we act on this today
On 29 or 28 or
on
both?
29,
Okay.
for the simple reason that the Senate Judiciary Committee will be reviewing this item this afternoon, and it would be to the city's advantage to express its position in promoting our ability to have the opportunity for inclusionary zoning to exist in the city, since it already does exist in certain parts. This would allow us to make sure that's written within the state law, the Costa-Hawkins. It clarifies that position.
Okay. Members, we have a motion to continue by Councilmember Holden. We have a request from Mr. Reyes to hear this matter
The point
today.
is that on the motion, 28, 29,
May I ask you to press your button, Mr. Holden, please?
yeah. Mr. Garcetti asked that 28 be called special, dealing with the same subject matter. Pardon? Would you stand up and comment on that, Mr. Garcetti? I didn't hear you.
29 is urgent, and that's the only reason we didn't continue it with 28. Speak to the microphone, we can't hear. I'm just letting him know.
Right, the existing Costa-Hawkins Rental Housing Act, that's 28. Is that not correct?
Mr. Holden, I believe the two items are related in subject matter, but they're on different timelines in the legislature, one more urgent than the other. That's what's being discussed here.
Mr. Reyes, They both are relating to the same subject matter. This bill, that's Senate Bill 178. So why is it not urgent for 28, but urgent for 29?
It's a very simple timing issue. SB 178 is being heard at the Senate Judiciary Committee this afternoon. So if you look at how it's framed in 29, what it does, it clarifies that local jurisdictions have
Las
the
jurisdicciones tienen la
flexibilidad
flexibilidad de adoptar
inclusionary zoning
la
ordinances
zona de,
as a response to local
como
housing
responda
conditions
de
that we have.
condiciones de vivienda que
So how
tenemos.
does it differ
Entonces,
from
¿cómo es diferente?
Members, if it'll simplify things,
Simple,
why don't we take
¿por
a
qué no
vote? Mr.
tomamos un
Holman
voto
has made a
sobre
request
esta? Es
to
una
continue
petición
item
para continuar
29.
el 28.
Mr. Reyes wants
Entonces,
it to be
quiero
heard
que se
today.
ha oído
We're
ahora.
going to take a vote on
¿Por
whether
qué vamos
that's...
a
I just wanna know why
más que
it's
eso?
urgent to
Porque
be
es
heard
urgente ser oído.
Okay, and I think Mr. Reyes
Y
has
ella
repeated the fact that
repetidamente
it's
le
being
dije que sea
considered in committee
considerada
this
al comité esta
afternoon.
tarde.
So is there any objection to
Entonces,
considering
¿uno
this
quiere
matter
considerar
today?
esta hora?
Okay,
Okay.
let's discuss this
Vamos a
item
discutir este
then, right
asunto
now.
entonces ahorita.
Mr. Reyes, you wish to go
Reyes
first?
quiere ir primero.
Yes, colleagues,
Colegas,
we are all cognizant and aware of the housing
sabemos de
crisis
las
that
crisis de
currently
viviendas que
exists in
existen en la
the city and in the
ciudad
state.
y en el estado.
What this amendment
Lo que
does,
este
it
amendamiento
clarifies the cost of
verifica
housing,
el
it
costo de
clarifies that
Hawkins.
local jurisdictions
La jurisdicción local debe de tener la flexibilidad de adoptar
inclusionary zoning ordinances
zonas ordenanzas como respuesta a condiciones de viviendas locales.
All we're trying to do
Todo lo que
is
estamos
allow
tratando es dejarnos ser la flexibilidad. Esto no es determinando cómo va a ser esa inclusión, dónde va a ir.
But the fact is, it
El
already
hecho es que ya
exists in
existe en la ciudad de Los Ángeles, existe en
Senate
el plan del oeste, Playa Vista. Entonces no es nada nuevo lo que estamos haciendo. Estamos seguros de que hacemos una
allows us to have that flexibility. And for
una
each of
regla
us,
para tener esa flexibilidad, los que estamos al día en la necesidad de viviendas
for our constituents,
para nuestros constituyentes.
should have
Entonces debemos de tener
tool in our toolbox.
esa arma en nuestra caja de herramientas para promover la clase de medio ambiente que tenemos.
The reason why
La
we need
razón
to
por
hear
la que
this today
tenemos
is
hoy
so we
la
can
hora
send
es
a
para
clear
que mandar un
message
mensaje
to
claro
the Senate Judiciary
al
Committee who is hearing
que
this
está
item
viendo este
this
asunto
afternoon at
esta
1:30.
tarde a la 1:30.
So I would hope I
Entonces yo
have
esperaría que
support
tengan su
this effort.
soporte en este esfuerzo.
Getting unanimous support,
Soporte
stating
unánime
that
diciendo que la ciudad de Los Ángeles debe de tener
the ability to preserve
la habilidad de preservar
its
sus
powers to consider
poderes
adoption,
de
consider adoption
considerar
of
adopción
zoning
de
ordinances
ordenanzas de
as a
coordinación
reasonable response
como
to
razón
increase the
prioritariamente
availability
la
of
viabilidad
housing
de
in the
viviendas
city of
en la
Los
ciudad de Los Ángeles.
Thank you very much.
Gracias,
Chair recognizes
señora
Ms. Grove.
señora Grum.
I would like to echo
También
what
hacer con lo que el
Mr.
señor
Reyes
Reyes
said.
acaba de
This is
decir.
really
Esto
about
debería ser
local
descontrol
control,
local
which
que
we're
nosotros
consistently
constantemente
talking about
hablando
here
aquí
in Los Angeles.
en Los
That we
Ángeles,
have the opportunity
que tenemos
to
la
make
oportunidad de
decisions
hacer
that impact our
decisiones que
neighborhood,
impactan a
and
nuestro
this does give
vecindario y
us that
esto nos da esa
flexibility.
flexibilidad.
And Mr. Reyes
El señor
and I,
Reyes
Chair-
y yo
Chair Plum and Chair
compartimos,
Housing and Mr.
el señor Garcetti,
have had several
hemos tenido
discussions
varias
about this
discusiones
issue.
acerca de esta
We're going to
cuestión
have
y vamos a tener un
a long, I think, or not maybe
largo,
too long,
quizás
but
muy
it's a
largo,
public
pero su
debate and discussion
debate público y
about,
discusión
this
acerca
issue,
de
how
esta
it
cuestión,
impacts
cómo
Los
impacta a
Angeles.
Los Ángeles.
Some of the positives,
Algunas
some
de
of the
las
incentives we
positivas,
might
algunos
need
de
to-
los incentivos que
et cetera,
hacemos,
to have that
etcétera, para
dialogue.
tener
This
ese diálogo.
allows
Esto
us
nos deja
to have that
tener esa
flexibility to design
flexibilidad para
something
diseñar
locally
algo
that makes
local
sense
que tenga
for us.
sentido para
And I know
nosotros.
the mayor's office
Y yo
has
sé
been
que la
working with
oficina
us
del
as
alcalde
well
está trabajando
to
con
see
nosotros para
what
ver
makes sense for
qué es
Los
lo que hace
Angeles.
sentido para
We
la
just
ciudad.
want to
Nosotros
identify
queremos,
so many
y
other
como
issues
todas
that we
otras
have,
cuestiones que tenemos
in the state
en la
legislature
legislatura
to
del
allow
Estado,
Los
dejarlos
Angeles
que
to
Los
decide
Ángeles
its
que
future
decida su
and
futuro
to be able to have that
y poder
flexibility.
tener esa
So
flexibilidad.
that's why we
Entonces,
have it
porque
before you
tenemos
today,
enfrente de ustedes
and
hoy
it's urgency
y esto es
because
urgencia
before
porque
the
está
state
enfrente de
legislature.
la legislatura estatal hoy.
Other members wishing to
¿Otros
speak
miembros que
about
desean ser oídos en este asunto?
this? Mr. Holmes,
Señor Holde, apriete su no izquierdo del equipo. Explíquenos cómo lo explico del control. Señor presidente, Paul Smith, CLA. La regulatoria que por la regulatorio de la ciudad de Los Ángeles es una donde hay control de renta inquilino que vacante voluntaria de esa unidad. Entonces se de descontrol y lo recontrol. Entonces la renta puede ir al mercado, pero es controlada para la tendencia de ese nuevo inquilino.
Sally Richmond, Los Angeles
Entonces,
Housing
Los
Department.
Ángeles.
The Item
El
28
asunto 28 propone ser un
substantive
sustituto de
major change in
cambio
Costa Hawkins.
en Costa
Item
Hawkins
29
y el asunto 29 por el senador Cedillo es un
ajustamiento
ajustamiento técnico que fue discutido cuando la ley se enactó en varios años. Entonces, son muy diferentes asuntos. ¿Por qué no fue adoptado? Denos los hechos. Discutir no quiere decir discutir en la legislatura que no más discusión, pero no fue considerado para la legislación, por eso no está adoptado como parte de la ley. Entonces póngamelo.
You're right.
Mr. President,
Señor presidente, la descripción de SB 178, concejal Reyes, estaba bien. Esto es una clarificación, una cuerda para clarificación. Casi todos los aplicantes y los miembros que estuvieron envueltos con la construcción del acto de Costa Hawkins para dejar que la jurisdicción local que tenga la flexibilidad repasar las inclusiones y requerimientos como parte de su es permitido, es control local. Y la dice hoy es a la 1:30. En acción esto se requiere hoy. ¿Qué es lo que es la ley del Estado existente? ¿Qué es lo que sí que cambia se ha hecho? Aunque sea técnica de naturaleza, no quiere decir. ¿Qué es lo que es la ley? ¿Y qué estamos? La legislación de control está de Costa Hawkins. Acto de rentas. Diga. Este silencio relativo a inclusiones, ordenanzas que serían enactadas por la jurisdicción local. Esta cuenta, la ley Cedillo clarificaría esa legislación para hacerla permisible para una jurisdicción local para entretener inclusión. Inclusión.
Define what that really means and how broad is the term.
Well, inclusionary programs have a
Programas
variety of
inclusivos tienen una
forms,
variedad de
but
formas.
Go ahead and explain this, sir, because you brought it
For instance,
Por ejemplo,
before the committees,
antes de los comités de plan y viviendas, es un reporte de
LHD relative to a inclusionary zoning ordinance would say to developers, if you build units in the city of Los Angeles, you will have to include X% of affordable units within that new complex.
complejo.
So you're
Entonces se está incluyendo
including
de eso
in that
nuevo
new
de
development
construcción
some percentage,
algún
some mix
porcentaje,
of
alguna
affordable
de
units.
unidades
Now, how we're going to actually
de
construct
bajo
that
costo, cómo se
inclusionary
realiza.
scheme is before
Está enfrente del comité
and will be
y
back to
vamos a
council
regresar a este consejo
within a couple months.
un par de meses. Eso lo hacemos de todas maneras. Damos ciertos créditos de impuestos a aquellos constructores. Un cierto porcentaje de esos. Tenemos programas de viviendas fortalecidas cuando vienen. Ya está ahí.
We have a relatively
Tenemos
robust affordable housing program
vivienda
within the city of
robusta
Los
dentro de la
Angeles.
ciudad de Los Ángeles.
We do a number of
Tenemos un número de
mechanisms which
mecanismos
add to the
que
pool.
añaden al piso.
What's the opposition?
¿Cuál es la
Mr.
oposición?
Kosh?
Ninguna.
In Sacramento.
Exactamente.
None that I know of. It's
Ninguna que yo
first vote will
sepa,
be
el primer
today.
voto va a ser hoy.
And there is no committee
No
analysis
comité
yet out
análisis.
from the
There's no
legislature.
committee analysis.
No, sir.
How can they vote it without a
¿Cómo
committee
pueden
analysis?
hacer un
You should
análisis de
have a copy
comité
of it.
de una copia de él?
I checked this morning, there
Cheque
was
esta
none
mañana no había
available.
nunca disponible.
That is strange.
Eso está extraño.
And I know you
Y
telling
yo
us
sé que están
exactly
diciendo
what the facts are.
exactamente lo que son los
It's
hechos.
strange not to have a
Extraño
committee
no tener
analysis
comité, un
the
análisis.
day that the bill
El
is
día que
being
la
heard, period. And
ley se
it's
está
also
viendo y también
strange
es
that they don't
extraño que
include
no
in
incluyen
analysis
ese análisis.
those who support
Esos que
and
se
those who
soportan y los que
oppose,
se
and the reason they
oponen.
give you as to why.
Y la razón la dan, porque no estoy diciendo que ahorita
On the existing law, have the
tenemos a la ley
authority
existente
in
la
just
autoridad
about every
de
case
cada caso,
provide for
proveedas
affordable
para
housing as part of
viviendas
the major housing
bajos
development
recursos.
complex. I don't want
Yo no quiero
a month from now, a
un
year
mes
from
y
now,
ahora
you
un año
guys to
después
deal
que
with
usted
it. When you
tiene
have
que hacerlo
developers
cuando
saying,
tengan a los constructores.
City of LA is so
Eso las
unfriendly,
regiones tan
makes it so
punitivas
punitive that we're not going to do
que
anything
no vamos a
in the
hacer
city.
nada en la ciudad.
And I can
Y
see
yo puedo ver
where the business
donde
will
los
go
negocios
someplace
va a ir a
that
otra
doesn't work
parte como si fuera.
when the school
Cuando la
was being
escuela se
proposed for
propuso.
Ambassador Hotel site. They vacated. It Wilshire corridor.
el corredor
It's
de
something that
Wilshire
just
es
don't
algo,
mix.
nomás no se revuelve.
And I'm saying to you
Y estoy
is
diciéndoles
that, yes,
que
it
sí,
sounds good.
suena bien.
Then what are the
Y luego
consequences?
las
Are we going to
cosas,
continue to
vamos a continuar
be business friendly or appear to be business unfriendly?
amigables para los negocios.
This could be a problem. You want to
Eso pasó,
respond to
pero
the
quiero
friendly and
responder
unfriendly aspect?
parte amigabilidad,
Mr. President,
señor presidente.
The bill before you is
La cuenta enfrente
permissive.
está
It
permitida.
allows the
Deja
local
que
jurisdiction
la
to
jurisdicción local
construct
construir
something to meet
algo
local
porque
concern.
opciones
The
locales.
program is
El
now
programa
before
ahora está
Plum,
enfrente, el
before
plan está enfrente de
ACD, and
CD
will be returned to
y va a
you,
regresar
to the
ustedes al
council for
Consejo
adoption.
para adopción.
When Costa
Cuando
Hawkins
Costa
was
Hawkins
first
fue
marked
primero
up,
marcado,
this was taken off the table
eso
for
se quitó de la
later,
mesa para más
for
adelante,
allowed for this to come back
bajar
at a
que esto
later time.
regresara más
The deal has
adelante.
now come back,
Ese día regresó
and there's no
y
opposition
no
to
hay
this.
oposición
It's
para esto.
permissive, it's a local
Permisible
home,
es una
local home rule issue.
regla de local
And final,
y final.
final piece of legislation
La
relative to
delegación de
inclusionary
relación de
zoning
inclusión
will come
va a
back
haber
to you
regresar
for
con
your
ustedes
review
para
and
su
approval.
repaso y aprobación.
So legislation, or once it's adopted by the
Una vez que adopta
legislature,
por el legislador,
authority
entonces la
is vested
orden
with the
entonces
city of Los
anunciado con la ciudad de
Angeles,
Los
where they can
Ángeles,
make the decision
donde pueden hacer
of
las decisiones
inclusionary zoning.
en zonas inclusionarias. Es lo que está diciendo, sí.
Is that what he's saying?
Yes.
Oscar, es lo que está diciendo.
The one amendment to
El
the current
amendamiento a
Costa-Hawkins
la
Act simply says that among the other
absolutamente las otras
exceptions
excepciones.
is proposed in this bill, the
Pues en
rent of
esta
a
cuenta
dwelling
de la
unit,
renta de
which is restricted
unidad
pursuant to
que
a
es
requirement
siguiente al
of a public
requerimiento de
entity that requires
entidad que
developers
requiere
of
los
new or
constructores de
rehab units
nuevos
to restrict the rents
que restringen
and
las
income of
rentas y
occupants
se
for a portion
compense
of the
por una
units.
porción de la
What
unidad.
I'm saying, if
Entonces
the
estoy
local
diciendo que
entity
es una entidad
has
local,
its
tiene
own,
su propio
inclusionary zoning
zona de
ordinance,
exclusión de
then that
ordenanza,
would be
entonces
exempted
eso sería
from
exentado
control
de
Let me
la
ask you a question.
exclusión.
Would that apply to one
¿Qué
house?
se aplicaría más una casa, dos casas o cuatro?
Units of four or
Unidades o
what
cuál
does
no
it
se
apply
¿A
to?
qué se aplica?
this would be
Y esto será
Multifamily?
multifamiliar.
Rental housing.
Mr. Reyes?
Unidades de
Mr.
renta,
Reyes,
señor Reyes.
I would have no objection.
No tendríamos que
This
si la
motion
cuenta
is
de esta
clear.
moción sea clara.
It means
Lo que quiere decir,
multifamily, and
familias
multifamily
multifamilias puede ser de 4 arriba o 6 arriba, 8 arriba, pero no una casa singular.
Councilmember Holden,
Es como, joder,
I just want to put
nomás
this in
quiero poner
context.
esto en contexto. Antes de
Mr. Holden, you
Señor
have 10
Holden tiene
seconds
10
left.
segundos.
Any other questions to Mr. Reyes?
Tiene usted
Otherwise,
esa
I'll defer
parte
to
que
his
puede
time.
ser
Well, we
usted.
can do, I just want, on this side, just, the question is, if you're
La
willing to
pregunta
amend
es si está
it,
dispuesto a
to be
enmendarlo
specific,
para ser
that it doesn't
específico que
apply
no se
to
aplique
one house
a una casa
or
nada
one
más
through
o
four,
a uno,
but
dos,
every
4,
four and above,
pero 4 para arriba.
I'll support you.
Mr. Reyes.
Señor Reyes.
The detail that you are
El detalle
requesting
que
at
está
this
pidiendo en
moment,
este momento,
Councilman
Consejo Holden,
will have its time
va a
when
tener
we
su
have
tiempo
that
cuando tenemos
discussion
esa discusión
on how we apply
y cómo
inclusionary zoning in
aplicamos
the
a
city.
zona en la ciudad.
All this is doing
Todo lo que está haciendo
is
esto es
clarifying
clarificando
for the bill that
para
inclusionary
la ley
zoning
que eso
should be
debe de
a
ser
tool
una
that should be flexible
herradura que sea
enough for a
flexible
local
para una
jurisdiction
jurisdicción local
to
para
stimulate
estimular
as part of their housing
como parte de
strategy.
su estrategia.
The issue of that
La
detail
cuestión de ese detalle
that you are
que usted
requesting
está pidiendo
will come forward
va a venir
once we get through the
una vez
process
que lleguemos al
of
proceso
understanding
de
what
entender
inclusionary
qué es
zoning
lo
means
que
in the
quiere
city.
decir inclusión
Last
zona.
week,
La semana pasada
we brought to the table at Plum
trajimos a la mesa
a
en plan
study that was
un estudio
commissioned
que se
that
comisionó
we'll be reviewing
que se va a
in the next
repasar
couple
en
of
los
weeks
próximos par de semanas
together with
juntos con el concejal Lulu
as housing and
Casa y
Plum
Plum
to look at the
para ver el
impacts
impacto
and how
y cómo
inclusionary zoning can be
soluciones
applied
pueden
in the city.
aplicarse en la ciudad.
So your request
Entonces su
can
petición
be
puede
addressed
llevarse
at that point.
en aquel punto.
Here, we're
Ahora,
just
aquí nomás
asking
estamos pidiendo
to have a
que tenga
clarification
una clarificación de incluir
allow for local jurisdictions
las
to have the
jurisdicciones locales
flexibility
tengan la
to
flexibilidad
adopt
para adoptar
inclusionary zoning
son
ordinances.
inclusiones en ordenanzas.
There are over 100
Hay
jurisdictions
cientos jurisdicciones
in the state,
en el estado.
okay?
Entonces voy a votar un sí.
Pasadena just adopted it. We need
Es
to work
adoptar,
on ours.
estamos trabajando nosotros.
Other members wishing to
¿Otros
be heard
miembros
on
que
this
desean
item?
en este asunto?
Seeing none,
Dígase
Madam
ninguna.
Clerk, please open
Ábrese
the
la
roll.
lista.
Please
Si
close
debe
the
cerrar
roll
la lista,
and tabulate
táblese
the
el
vote.
voto. 13 sí.
That is approved.
Está aprobado.
Please.
Para adelante, por favor.
Next item.
Próximo asunto.
Item number 9
El
is
asunto
being
número
held
9
on the
está
desk for
detenido el
Councilmember Perry.
escritor, perdón, concejal Perry, señora Perry.
Item number 9.
Asunto 9.
There are no,
No hay.
Why don't you come back to me on that one?
Porque
I'm sorry, I'm not ready to
no
speak.
estoy listo para hablar.
Can you hold it on the desk?
¿Me puede tenemos en el escritorio?
Madam Clerk, next
Julio,
item, please.
próximo asunto.
It's time for
Es ya
comments
para
from the public
comentarios
on
del
items
público
not
en el
on
asunto
council's
no en la
agenda.
agenda del Consejo. Si no hay petición para miembros del público para hablar con los asuntos, aumentario público hoy está cerrado.
Next item.
Próximo asunto.
Do you wish to clear the
Dice
desk before going into closed
clarificar
session
el
and taking up
escrito
item number
para
9?
tomar el asunto. Vamos a.
Council
Empieza
has
acá.
motions
Tiene
for
mociones
posting and
propuestas de
referral.
debemos ponerse
There
de
are excuses
Hay
on the
otras
desk.
cosas en el
Councilmember Perry
escritorio. Señor Perry pide ser excusado.
Tuesday, April
Martes
22nd and Wednesday,
22 y
April
el
23rd for
23
city business.
para
That means
negocios de la
council
ciudad
policy.
tiene policía de la ciudad está
Councilmember
excusada.
Galante requests
Adelante
to
pide ser
excuse for
excusado
city
para
business Tuesday,
desde
April
martes
22nd.
22.
A motion is
¿Cómo
required.
se requiere?
Mr. Pacheco
Señor
moves,
Pacheco se
Mr.
mueve, el
Galante
señor
is
Galante
excused.
está excusado.
And that clears the desk,
Y
Mr.
eso
President,
limpia el
except for
escritorio
item
aparte
number
del
9, which
asunto
is still
número
on
1
the
que todavía
desk.
está en la escritura. Señor Pacheco.
Mr. President,
Señor
colleagues, I
Presidente,
apologize.
colegas, yo me
Can I move
disculpo,
to
pero
reconsider
para
item
reconsiderar el
number
asunto
20?
número 20.
We're not sure if
No estamos
funds
seguros si
should be
los fondos
directed
deben ser
to
dirigidos
CRA
para el SRA o
for that
de Alci para el
public project, so
mejoramiento.
I'd ask that
Entonces pido que se
we bring it back
lo
and leave it on
traigamos
the
y
table
dejen en la
with
mesa y
staff
me se
to look
haga un
into that
equipo
right
para ver ahorita.
Members, motion for
Comisión para
reconsideration.
considerar en el
Item
asunto 20.
20. Let's open the roll.
Vamos a abrir la lista.
Please close the roll.
Cierre la lista.
Tabulate
Estamos
the
el
vote.
voto.
13 ayes.
13 sí.
Item 20 is
Asunto 20 está
reconsidered and
reconsiderado.
we'll hold that on the
Vamos a
desk
tenerse en el escritorio.
for Mr.
Para
Pacheco.
el señor Pacheco.
And if there are
Y si
no
no
other
hay
items
otros asuntos
to be taken up at
para
this time,
tomarse en este momento,
then in conformance,
entonces
I believe
Entonces creo que
Councilmember Perry is
Concejal
ready to
Perry
take up
está,
number 9.
va a tomar el número 9.
That was, apparently that was called
Aparentemente se
special
llama
by
especial por
mistake previously.
el
and,
error,
just
pero
disregard
nada más
that.
olvídense de eso.
Okay, so
then
the-
let's
Entonces
dispense with
vamos a
item number
llamar a
9.
deshacernos del
Item
asunto.
before us.
And the action on that matter would be to
Elección es
open the
para
hearing
abrir
and
la
continue
audiencia
the
y
hearing
continuar la
in
audiencia en
ordinance
ordenancia
to
para
April
abril 29.
Okay, we don't have requests
No
from
tenemos
members of the
petición de
public
mí
to
para
address the
hablar
council
con
on
serio
this
en este asunto.
item. Excuse me, the public hearing is
La
open
audiencia
and
pública está
continues
abierta y
to
continúa
April
para
29
abril
without
29
objection.
sin objeción.
And now, in conformance with
ahora-
California law, the council will adjourn into closed session.
Va a entrar la
Guards,
sesión,
please
por
go to
favor,
chambers.
limpien. Gracias.
Welcome back into open session. Madam Clerk, next matter before us, please.
Item number 25 is settlement in the case of Tina Lee Vogt versus City of Los Angeles, and that's in the amount of $225,000.
Please open the roll, please close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
That is approved. Next item, please.
And that clears the desk, Mr. President.
Forthwith on item 25. Members, are there any announcements today? Mr. Pacheco?
I believe I still have item 20 on the desk.
Yes, that was being held for staff.
Right. Is that the final item, only item? All right, so we'll just,
You want to continue
You
the
know
minutes
what?
to tomorrow?
let's adopt it as amended, and if I have to move to reconsider it, I'll do it tomorrow. That way, it's no, it doesn't slow up the project in any event.
Okay, it's your prerogative. Members, item 20 is before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you. That was as
approved
amended.
once again. Any announcements today? Members, are there adjourning motions today? Seeing no announcements, seeing no adjourning motions, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
watching LA City View, Channel 35. Your city, your channel.